2 thumbs up. I like this one.
Hey guys, welcome back. Right now we are in Frankfurt, and we're actually here just overnight. We took the train up and then we're flying out tomorrow, but we had to come up to Frankfurt because we couldn't fly out of Munich for some reason. So yeah, we are here and we're about to go explore the city. It's like 4 o'clock already, so we'll probably get something to eat, maybe try to find a beer garden. And then there's actually a big festival that's starting tonight called the Apple Wine Festival. Frankfurt is known for its apple vine. Oh, I should say that again. Frankfurt is known for its apple vine. Frankfurt is known for its apple vine. It's really hard to say.
Yeah.
So we are going to try to check out the opening ceremonies tonight, which should be interesting. There's apparently a whole apple wine ceremony with an apple wine queen, so we're going to see what that's all about. Frankfurt is a super modern looking city compared to the rest of Germany. I mean, just look at those buildings. We're definitely not used to that in Bavaria. After arriving and getting settled in, we were itching to leave the confines of our hotel to explore the metropolis of Frankfurt. Frankfurt is located in central Germany, in the German state of Hessen. Officially, the name of Frankfurt is Frankfurt am Main, given its location on the Main River. The city itself has a population of just over 760,000 people, making it the 5th largest city in Germany. However, the general urban area where Frankfurt lies is home to some 5.6 million people, making it the 2nd largest urban area in the country. The city is known as the financial center of the country and arguably of Europe. Many financial giants have their headquarters here. Just walking through the middle of town, you can tell it's an important financial center. You know, if it weren't for that big Euro sign, I would think we're just walking around another American city.
Yeah.
One of the reasons we were here was also because of the airport. Frankfurt Airport is the busiest airport in Germany, and one of the busiest in Europe. It's also the primary hub of German giant Lufthansa. Needless to say, Frankfurt is a powerhouse of business and trade. The skyline of Frankfurt is, in a few words, very un-German-like. In fact, Frankfurt looks like any other modern business hub that you might find in other countries. Living in Bavaria, we were not used to seeing a skyline like this in other cities in Germany. We continued walking south through the business district until we came to the mighty Main River. The Main is the longest tributary of the Rhine River. It starts its nearly 400-mile journey across Germany in northern Bavaria, where it zigzags along the valleys until it eventually meets the Rhine near Mainz, a city just to the west of Frankfurt. The waterway is a wide and powerful one, and it makes for great sightseeing on these large barge-like cruise ships that travel up and down the river. After getting our fill of views on the Main, we decided to get our fill of another sort. We stopped at a little restaurant on the riverbank to get some food. So we stopped for a little food. We realized that we hadn't really eaten since we left this morning. Had something on the train, but not much, so it's 5 o'clock, it's time to eat. Yes. I don't know how everything ended up on my plate, but we just had some Frankfurters and then some Spundekäse, which is like a taco dip. Very good. Now, of course, we know that Spundekäse is not a taco dip, but if you haven't had it before, that's really the best way to describe the consistency and taste. Spundekäse is a specialty from the nearby city of Mainz and consists mainly of a cheese paste seasoned with salt, pepper, and paprika. After we finished eating, we made our way up to one of the pedestrian bridges that connects the north and south banks of the river, passing by several locks firmly affixed to the iron railings. As always, Catherine had something to say about those. How do you feel about those locks, Catherine?
I think they're tacky.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they are.
Yeah.
After effectively invalidating the love of hundreds of couples from around the world, we made our way to the Altstadt, or Old Town, of Frankfurt. As we made our way in among the fountain, half-timbered houses, and colored plasterwork, we started to feel a bit more at home. Now it's starting to look a little bit more German. The old town of Frankfurt was once one of the largest half-timbered towns in Germany. However, air raids in World War II destroyed the majority of this district. Nearly 1,300 homes and buildings were completely wiped off the map, and many historical buildings, including churches and monuments, were damaged beyond repair. Unlike cities like Munich, which started rebuilding after the war with a more traditional method, Frankfurt started rebuilding in a new, more modern style. However, in the 1950s, things came to a screeching halt when the modernists and conservators butted heads as to how the old town should be rebuilt. It was decided that certain monuments should be restored and resurrected, and some areas, such as the Roman Square, should be restored to its half-timbered state. This is why there's only a small portion of the city left with this traditional-looking building style. Standing around this square are the Alte Nikolaikirche, or Old St. Nicholas Church, the restored Fountain of Justice, and the Frankfurter Römer, the iconic medieval town hall building. Farther down the road is also the Paulskirche, or St. Paul's Church, one of the first buildings to be restored after the new direction for the area was decided in the 1950s. It's believed that the original church that once occupied this spot was built in the 13th century. This church is also notable, having served as the meeting place for the National Assembly in 1848 and 1849, making it a beacon not only for religion in the area, but also politics. We made our way past the Paulskirche and through the many side streets and alleys filled with restaurants that we find in so many European cities. Finally, we had reached the main event, the Apple Wine Festival. This festival takes place each year in the Rossmarkt in Frankfurt, and it offers up the Hessian national drink, apple wine, also called Abelwoi. So Frankfurt is apparently known for their apple wine. I remember when I was here, 13 years ago, apple wine was still a big thing. So we got our apple wine. Catherine, what do you think of it?
It's okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're not a big apple person.
I'm not, but it's good.
Yeah. This drink has been produced in this area of Germany for centuries, and it brings refreshment on hot summer days. It was even believed to have been an elixir, remedying all types of illnesses. Now, an annual tradition takes place here in Frankfurt, and the Abelwoi seemingly flows endlessly. There are several different vendor carts around the ground, including those offering the apple wine, along with other drinks and other types of foods. In the middle of the grounds is a large stage with ample seating for the thousands of visitors who come here each year. The festival takes place over 10 days in the middle of August. As we sat at our table, we watched the opening ceremonies commence, with several words from the chairman of the Apple Wine Festival Committee, or at least that's what we thought he was. To be honest, he was only speaking German, we were drinking apple wine, and things might have gotten lost in translation. Other members of the committee and the apple wine queen came out to greet the crowd. At the end of the speeches, the ceremonial tapping of the apple wine cask was done, after a bit of a struggle.
Ja, jetzt haben wir den Rekord von 12 Schlägen. Ja, dann schon mal 15. Mal schauen, was ist er. Auf dem Hauptessen. Ich bin nochmal von 0 ab. Ein bisschen fortzuschlagen. So, und damit ist das Apfelweinfestival.
Finally, the Queen successfully tapped the cask, and each of the committee members filled their bembels, the name of the apple wine jugs, and started walking around offering to top off everybody's glass. As the sun started to set, the band took the stage, and the party began. So Catherine wasn't a really big fan of the apple wine, and that's my fault because I know she doesn't really like apple, but then we found this stand that has apple secco, which is like Prosecco apple flavored. I don't know what the heck it is. She loves it.
2 thumbs up. I like this one.
So the apple secco turned into an apple secco Aperol Spritz.
Yes, I'm very happy.
Aperol Spritz is like her favorite drink, so... We walked around the grounds and checked out all of the food stands and carts. Everything looked and smelled amazing, and the atmosphere was so fun and friendly. Now, the Apple Wine Festival in Frankfurt is of course nowhere near the size of something like Oktoberfest. And it really doesn't claim to be. However, the atmosphere was fun, festive, and friendly, and there was no shortage of things to see. The band was amazing, the drinks were good, and the food was filling. Further, this Apple Wine Festival is just one example of the many small festivals that take place during the summer, all throughout towns and villages in Germany. Each town has their own traditions, and we think that the tradition of the Apple Wine Festival is a very cool one. It's just another look into how festive the German culture can be. Knowing that we had an early flight the next morning, we decided to start heading back to our hotel. We walked through the glass and concrete jungle that is the business center of Frankfurt, and drifted off to sleep with images of Abelwoi, Bembels, and Äpfels in our heads. Alright guys, so we were back from the Apple Wine Festival, and it was a lot of fun. They had a lot of different booths there with different foods, different types of apple wines, and as you saw, they even had like apple prosecco, and were making Aperol spritzes with apple prosecco, and a whole bunch of different drinks. It was a really good time, and the music was awesome. Or I really liked the music. I don't know, I think maybe Catherine thought it was too old-timey. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Glad we went. One thing though is the apple wine is pretty strong. I was drinking the first one like a beer, and that was a mistake. It was pretty strong stuff. So we're kind of nursing some headaches this morning, but it was fun nonetheless. But now we have to get to the airport. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and we have to make our way over to the Frankfurt Main Airport for our flight down to Venice. We made our way to the S-Bahn that would take us to the busiest airport in Germany. And we were finally on our way to Italy. We had a great time in Frankfurt, and if you happen to be there in the middle of August, maybe you can make your way to the Rossmarkt and partake in some Abelwoi and music. Apfelwein. I'm going to try to dub it in later. Apfelwein. Apfelwein. It's really hard to say.